would say. "Just imagine where we will take everyone next time." He and I would stand there and create magic with his paints and brushes and imagination. We lived in a make-believe world, and it was hard for me to imagine doing anything else with my life. My mother was not just any actress. She was one of the most famous women in Denmark. She was what the Danish critics called a leading light. Elegant and beautiful, she was brilliant at Chekhov, at comedy, and of course at Shakespeare. Mama and Papa had met on stage, and I had been hanging around the theatre since Mama had first carried me on in a music revue as the brand new baby of a girl who had got into trouble. Then there was Uncle Max, who was not my real uncle, but my godfather. Uncle Max was a wonderful actor, and he and Mama had played every famous couple there was in the theatre. I sometimes think the audience thought they were married in real life. They were so good together. They could make you cry and laugh at the same moment. Maybe that's why we were so good at it, once the war came. On the night of the big party, no one had been talking about politics. There was a war going on in Europe, but so far Denmark had been left alone. I don't remember being afraid, even though in those days I was sometimes fearful of other things and slept with a light on. After everyone had done their party pieces, we all sang old Danish songs. The Danes loved singing, and Uncle Max had written some new words specially for that night, making jokes and poking fun at everyone. My big brother Orlando, who was 16, and my 14-year-old sister Masha had gone home, but I hid out of the way so as not to catch Mama's eye and make her realise how late it was. I had watched the grown-ups laughing and drinking beer. Then Thomas had put me on the throne and made me deliver one of Henry's speeches, and everyone had clapped. I had fallen asleep on the throne, with the sound still ringing in my ears. When I woke in the morning, I wasn't sure where I was. The electricians had gone home. Perhaps they had walked through the streets of Copenagen, still dressed as a cow. A drunk cow, heading home. Even at a party, the backstage people never last as long as the actors. The men had turned out the lights except for the one safety lamp that always burns night and day in every theatre in the world. Now the whole stage was lit with a single bulb on a stand in the corner. The music had stopped, but I wasn't alone. There were various sleeping bodies about the place, and Kaufmann, who played the piano for the sketches, seemed to have collapsed across the keyboard. None of the slumbering shapes looked like mother or father, but I wasn't afraid. This was my home. I rubbed my eyes and then listened. I could hear a faint humming, like thunder coming closer. No, more like a deep droning, like the chorus in Carmen heading towards the stage for the Toreador song, except without the harmony. Suddenly, the door to the dressing-room corridor banged open at the back. It was Thomas, who, as well as being the wardrobe master, was Mama's personal dresser. He looked frail and shaky, which was odd. Thomas was one of life's cheerful people. He was so used to drama on and off stage that I had never seen anything really upset him. He had been in the theatre since he was a boy, and I think life for him was mostly pretend. Thomas worried about Mama, or about the costumes, or about his own hair, but not about anything else. He looked at me, and his thin body was shaking. "Oh, Bamse! Oh, my God! Oh, my God! They have come! They have come!" He choked as he spoke. "They have come!" The humming was getting louder. Now I couldn't just hear it. I could feel it in my chest. Thomas was sobbing and choking. I made him sit on Henry's throne and waited till I felt I could leave him. He was so paralysed with fear that I didn't know what to do, but I thought I had better find Mama. Mama would make him all right again. I left Thomas sitting on the huge gold chair, while all the partygoers still slept all over the stage. He looked like a tiny king, with all his court dead around him in the shadows. I ran to Mother's dressing room to see if she was there. It was empty, just the usual props and costumes, and the smell of grease paint, which in those days everyone still used for stage makeup. I opened her window and looked out.